Alright, here we are. We're actually working on the gas grill today because we had a problem where I turned the tank on. The tank shows it's got plenty of fuel in it, and I tried using it. I had no flame coming out. Tried lighting it with a match, igniters, nothing would work, and it turns out this regulator. Because tanks are high pressure propane, they go through this regulator to put it to low pressure so it's safe for using with your burners inside the grill or anything else like that. This had actually failed and was starting to leak out the cap and the exhaust port right there. So this regulator is bad. Instead of buying a whole new grill and everything, we're going to replace the hose here, which is simple line coming up and around and connects in right there. Pretty simple process to do. And mine had a pretty significant leak, so I could feel it and hear it with my finger, but we're going to spray it with some leak detector. I'll show you what it'll look like if it's bubbling up. There you can see that bubbling up like that like crazy. You can smell the propane leak. That is a bad thing. You do not want to have any leaks in the propane system. What I used to find that was our gas leak detector sprayer. All you simply do is just spray it on the connection surface and you can see it leaking like crazy. So we have a bad regulator. So first thing we do is we're going to always turn the tank off to make sure we don't have gas escaping while we do the process. The next thing we're going to do is just disconnect this fitting like you're taking the propane tank off. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy with that. As obviously you can see, since we turned the gas off, the leak has stopped. And then we're going to take the fitting off right here at the grill. So as you can see right up here, you have a flat spots for a wrench and then a wrench on this side. So I just use an adjustable wrench, one on this side, one on this side, and then turn to break it free. And you can see it just unthreads like a normal fitting. And we can spin it off. Just like that. We now have the hose and regulator. Here we have the old hose. It's rubber. Rubber tends to get hard over time when it's exposed to propane, so what we end up doing is upgrading to a stainless braided hose. There's nothing wrong with just getting a rubber replacement, but the stainless braided handles the weather and the elements better, so it won't get stuck and hard and won't dry rot and dry crack. This has the same brass fitting as the other one does, so it'll be a direct replacement. The same quick connect plastic end, has a regulator on the hose, but I opted for the one that actually has a gas gauge on it, because not all tanks have this little gas gauge, so it's pretty handy to have on there just to make sure that either the one that's on there works, or just the tank that I have that doesn't have a gauge on it will work itself. This right here is a taper flare fitting, so you can see there's some tapers to it. That 45-degree chamfer on both sides. That makes it so you're not required to use thread sealant or tape on this. What I like to do is take my fingers, rub on that seal, make sure that there is no dust or dirt on it. Make sure the one inside the hose has no debris on it, and then it simply just threads on there just like that. The other end, hook right onto the gas grill, just like that. We'll tighten it up with the wrenches, maybe reroute the hose a little bit better, a little more convenient way, and then we'll leak check it. So as you can see, it's on there, 2 wrenches right there and right there. Tighten it up nice and tight. I just had to do a curly loop so it stays down low and out of the way. And then tighten it up there. You can see the regulator is there, you can see the gas gauge and things like that. So that'll be nice and easy. It's out of the way, it's not hanging down, it's in a good spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to leak check it. We're going to turn the gas on. You can see the gas is on because now the gauge is starting to show there is fluid there. So we're going to take our leak detector spray, same spray we used before, and we're going to spray it everywhere. This stuff does dry and go away, so you're not having this on there all the time. But we're spraying everything. And like we had before, we're looking for bubbles that start coming out everywhere. Never can use too much of that. So we're seeing, obviously we got a flashlight because we're doing this in the dark as the kids have went to bed, so we got time to actually work on some stuff. Checking all around 360 degrees, because gas is not something you want to play with and joke around with. You always want to make sure there are no leaks, just like you do with your RV. You're always checking for leaks. So the little bit of foaminess that's on there is good. We're not having it grow and create more. And that's where the struggle is. You don't want it to be growing bubbles. If it's there from when it was sprayed, that's not a big deal. So as you can see, everything is working like it should. Last test is just to light the grill to make sure it burns. One key note to have with this, when you replace this hose, this old hose used to have all this full of gas all the way up and through. When you replace this one, it no longer has propane just sitting in it. It is full of oxygen. So when you go to light the grill for the first time, it may take a few tries to purge all the gas out of this line and get the air out for the next light. So just because it doesn't fire up right away doesn't mean the new one is bad. Just want to make sure you take that as note for when you do the process yourself, and don't say it's a bad one right away. Tools required to do this job. You can use pliers or adjustable wrenches. You can do one of each on there. It doesn't matter, it's personal preference, but you need at least two to do the job, because if you just do the loosening from the one side, you may end up actually breaking that gas tube off on the grill. So you're going to have two. Not a big deal. Gas leak detector. It's cheap. I'll have a link in the description. It's easy to use, it's easy to get by, and it's just good to have as a backup. And then obviously you need a new gas hose if you're going to do the job. This is the old one. So it's a fairly simple job, easy to do. Anybody can do it.